Are you live? You got my voice? Let me know when I'm good to go. Okay. Good morning. And welcome to Good morning. Is that a little better? I think you should meet here. Good morning and welcome to Coffee with the Birds. I haven't said that in a while. It's been since March. My name is Curtis Dykstra, Parks Naturalist and Program Supervisor with Ottawa County Parks, and I want to welcome you to the first Coffee with the Birds of the season. It is the 7th of December, and this day has come way too fast, as you can tell by me running around the nature center trying to get things ready. I was here till about 8 o'clock last night. It was a long day. But when I'm done today, I don't have to stick around. I'll take off and go get a Christmas tree with my daughter. So she's here. So that'll be nice. So if you see a 13-year-old girl walking around, yes, I'm embarrassing you, Natalie. That's my daughter. She's helping out with things. But a special welcome to all of you here in person and all of you online. It is an informal time to enjoy coffee, pastries, birds, and this community. Whether we be online or whether we be in person, we are a birding community. We're a bird-loving community. This is where anybody who has any love or enjoyment or interest in birds can come, no matter what level of enjoyment. It might be that you've just watched the cardinals in your backyard and love it. It might be that you're a world traveler and you see birds all the way around the world. That now includes me, because now I've been over the pond birding. But this is the community, and we love to join together and share our enjoyment of birds together. The other thing that we're going to do is we're going to identify birds at the feeder. And we got a hairy woodpecker on number 3 over there right now. There'll also be opportunity for questions, curiosities, stories that you can ask. Oh, we got a nice house finch. Thank you for putting that up on the screen there, Rick. We've got it on the screen here in the wildlife den too. Rick is doing a phenomenal job with managing that stuff. Which camera is that? I'm looking for the bird now. Yep. But we'll identify the birds at the feeders. We've got a downy woodpecker over on number 10. We've got a nuthatch going to number 4 over here. We've got juncos on the ground underneath number 8 and underneath number 3. We've got a hairy woodpecker on number 3, house finch on number 3, goldfinch on number 3, and above it in the trees. So lots of activity going on. With the early snow sticking around, cold temperatures, it's been pretty busy at the feeders. So that we'll go over more. Oh, perfect on the screen up there. Look at that. Good job, Rick. I'm going to say that a lot today, I think. So questions, curiosities, stories. It's going to be a time for informal discussion on what's on your mind related to birds. This is not car talk. This is bird talk. Okay. Sorry, Alex, wherever he is. It's not car talk. I know Alex. He's a car guy. We will also do a birding tidbit presentation at about 10:30. We'll leave this room and go to the great room, and I'll do a presentation on the bird of the year, the winning photo this year, which is by Ryan Beebe, which is on our mugs right here of an American avocet. So we're going to do a species profile on American avocet today. And then I want to say thank you to our sponsors. Oh, before I do that, those of you online, there will be a separate live stream for that presentation. So check that out. You'll be able to see that presentation as well, but you have to start a new live stream for that. I also want to thank our sponsors. Right now, we've got a whole big flock of goldfinches. There's one pine siskin on the top of number 4. Pine siskin, the little streaky-backed one. You can see he's not yellowish on the breast. He's all streaks on the back. He's upside down, heading left at the very top. We haven't had them around for a few days. We've got a mourning dove coming in. Pine siskin, that's a special one. There's not been very many around this year, and we had about 4 about a week and a half ago, and they disappeared. So I was hopeful that one would show up today. And look at that, right off the bat, pine siskin. It's one of our eruptive finches, and they don't show up every year. Most years we have at least a few, but some years we'll have none. Some years we'll have a ton. We've had over 100, 150 at the feeders at one time before. So it can really vary depending on the season. Mourning dove coming in. That's actually a hard one to get for Coffee with the Birds. They're so skittish. They know something's going on. They hear all the noises and the commotion. They take off. So we've got a downy woodpecker on 5 and a hairy woodpecker on 10. Good comparison there of the two. The hairy being larger, the downy being smaller. A whole 2-inch difference. That's a male hairy on number 10 with the red on the back. And this is a female downy with no red on the back of the head. Boy, we're going to go through all the birds in the first 5 minutes. That feeder number 3 is just chock full of goldfinches. There's a song sparrow on the ground down below number 3. The streaky sparrow down there. Oh, he just took off. Something scared. See, the doves didn't last long, did they? The doves just took off. Yep.
What's filled in number 3?
Number 3 and number 4 are sunflower hearts.
Okay.
Yep, we get the whole sunflower hearts, so it's called coarse sunflower. We get it from DeBrine's, and you can get a 50-pound bag or a smaller bag, but we get the 50-pounders because we go through so much. And that's coarse sunflower. There's also medium sunflower and fine sunflower, depending on how big of the pieces you want. We wanted big pieces, and they love it. The finches have just, they devour it. So I recommend it. It makes it easier for them to eat because they don't have to break through the shell and everything. So it's worked really well. There's the song sparrow just to the right of the waterfall. You can see his nice streaked breast hopping on the ground there, coming down toward the bridge. There's blue jay back there too. There's been a couple of song sparrows. They didn't used to stick around for the winter, but in recent years, the mild temperatures have allowed them to stick around, and they like to hang out in the reeds and things along the river. And so they'll come into the feeders sometimes now. So that's a good one when we see it at the feeder, though. Look at that, downy and hairy woodpecker on number 10 together. Oh, you got the song sparrow on the, nice, nice. Downy and hairy together on number 10. Can't beat that. You see that difference now. Rick is keeping up with me. Awesome. Well, while we're watching the woodpeckers here, and the tufted titmouse is a new bird on number 1, flying off from number 1. I interrupt for the birds, so I have to get myself back on track. I've got notes here. I want to mention sponsors for this program because we couldn't do it without sponsors. First of all, DeBrine Seed Company in Zeeland. We buy our seed from them, and they provide prizes to that we can give away, door prizes, prizes for the winning photographers, that kind of thing. So thank you to DeBrine. And they have awesome customer service. I definitely recommend it. Every time I go over there, they're helping put the seeds in the car for me. They've got reasonable prices. Say hi to Ken when you're there, and if you go to DeBrine, tell them thank you for their support of Coffee with the Birds. Awashanong Islands Audubon Society is also a sponsor. They donate money to help us purchase seed, so we're thankful to them and their support. They've continued to do that for a number of years now. Friends of Ottawa County Parks have provided the hot drinks that are not coffee. Okay, so if you are drinking cider or hot chocolate, I know my daughter is a hot chocolate fan, so she's got that. That came from the Friends of Ottawa County Parks. Madcap Coffee is now going to be seemingly our new coffee sponsor. Simpatico was not able to continue helping out. Definitely still want to encourage people to utilize Simpatico. They're definitely help out Simpatico with the shade-grown coffee. But we've got a connection now with Madcap, which happened after we were told we couldn't continue with Simpatico. What you are drinking today, however, is Starbucks. So, I know. It's good tasting coffee, but we were in a bit of a jam. Madcap couldn't get our order in until Monday, so we had to have something, right? So we got Starbucks Sumatra. So if you like it, it's the Sumatra. Nice dark roast. Very good. I like the dark roast. And when we put it in the big machines, it's helpful to have a darker roast. So I hope that you like it. So they're not a sponsor, but it's Starbucks. And then, of course, last but not least, thank you to our Mug Club members, both from 2024 and our new 2025 Mug Club members. If you have your mug, raise it. Doesn't matter what year it's from. Mug Club members, raise your mugs. Thank you for your support of this program and feeding the birds at the feeders. You can purchase your own membership. Is there a red-bellied? There is a red-bellied on number 4. Red-bellied on number 4. That's the female. You see the red ends on the top of the head, and it's got a gray forehead. That's the female. The male has red all the way over the forehead. They got that ladder back. Really pretty. Last night when I was out doing stuff with the feeders, I heard the pileated, and we see pileated workings way back in the woods there. So if we're lucky, maybe they've shown up before for coffee with the birds. So, but you can purchase a membership, be a Mug Club member, and support this program and feeding the birds at the feeders for $25. And along with that comes this wonderful mug. You'll learn a little bit more about the mug and the photographer when he's among us. Okay, Ryan, just raise your hand. Why don't we give him a round of applause? Thank you, and congratulations to Ryan for his photo of an American avocet that is so beautifully draped around our new mug. He did not see 2. That's just a wraparound. You probably did. He didn't get them both in the photo. But congratulations to him and our other winners, which we'll show during the presentation there. But $25, you can purchase it online and then come and pick it up here, or you can purchase it here if you like. The process is a whole lot simpler. If you can do it online and come in, you just tell us your name and we'll hand it to you. So thank you to all of our Mug Club members. Okay. Now I think it's time to watch the bird feeders more intently. I'd like to give the little intro, especially this first Coffee with the Birds. We've been doing this since 2014. 2014. This is 10 years. This is 10 years. Yeah, that's hitting me. Wow. Yeah. And actually, this is 24, 25, so we started in the 2013, 2014, so this is 11 years. I'm coming up on 12 years with the county, so that makes sense. We did this right off the bat, and we had about, 8 people in here for one session of watching the feeders. Female cardinal coming in, and you are totally allowed to interrupt me for birds. So female cardinal, there it is, back behind number 10, flying over to the branch.
And there's some juncos.
Yep, you can see how much these birds love the brush pile back there.
Yeah,
They really utilize that. Chickadee coming in above number 3, coming into number 3. There he goes. And there's the song sparrow on the ground underneath number 3. And you'll see that the feeders ebb and flow a bit. You'll get a ton of activity and then it'll die down. And when it dies down with some birds, then the other birds will come in, like the chickadees and the titmice. They wait for all the finches to go away and then they can come in and feed. So yes, we had humble beginnings 11 years ago, and look where we are now. We do 2 sessions, we do a program between, and we often get over 100 people at this program. And that does not include the online presence as well. We get hundreds of views on YouTube as well, so just so thankful to be a part of this and to share the birds with you. So are there any questions, stories, bird sightings you want to share? Anything bird related that we can talk about? The question is, what are we feeding the squirrels on the ground to keep them out of the feeders? That's a very good question. It is a mixture of seed, but one thing that we added into it this year is whole kernel corn. So if you give them enough seed on the ground, they will do that. They're lazy, but they're also ingenuitive. Is that the right way to say it? When there's not anything on the ground, then they get curious of the other feeders and try to get into them. So I recommend that either you put a lot of ground feed out. What's included in the ground feed is millet, cracked corn, whole corn, and sunflower seed in the hull, sunflower seed. And they like the sunflower seed. So I give a little to them. They can search through it and find it, but they also like the corn. So we'll put it on the ground. Some people will even put up a feeder that is full access to the squirrels and just put cracked corn in it or whole corn, and that tends to help. Now, I'm not going to say it's going to eradicate your problem with squirrels, but it can help. If you give them what they want where they want it, they'll be happy. So yeah, that's what we have on the ground there. And that whole corn, I think, might be holding them down a little bit more. They're fat and happy. I'll tell you, they are nice-sized squirrels. So on the feeder, number 4 up on the screen, that's a house finch on the bottom right, and goldfinches hanging out with them. There's another house finch just came in. They're a little bigger than the goldfinches, and the males have that red. There was one here yesterday or day before that was yellow. Kind of had a yellow-orange color instead of red. And that's because the deepness of the red depends on their diet, and if they're getting enough carotenoids in their diet or not, creates the red color. So maybe we'll see our yellow-orange. Oh, look at the dove coming across the bridge. He's utilizing our bridge. Isn't that sweet? He's like, don't look at me. I'm just here. Yep, there. Oh, and now he's got a mate coming behind. Yep. It's nice. The bridge is for people, but the birds can use it. Squirrels use it, although they'll still jump over.
There's an American tree sparrow.
Tree sparrow.
In the conifer behind the bridge.
In the conifer, oh yes, right above and to the right of the doves. It's coming down to the snow.
There's 2 of them now.
Yep, coming out of the hemlock there to the left of the, yeah, oh, and Rick's got it on the TV there now too. American tree sparrows. This is a wintertime species like the junco. They're here only in the wintertime, and they stay all winter long. Usually we get small numbers at the beginning of winter, but then when seeds run out in the meadow, then they come to the feeders. Well, this year they've shown up a little early. Oh, we got a tree sparrow right here, right next to me, outside the window. Just 6-8 feet away from me here. There he goes, coming down to the path. I've mentioned the bridge and the path. We did some improvements to the bird feeding area out here. A little hard to see under the snow, but you can see there's stone paths now that go to the certain feeders. So staff can utilize those paths without stepping on our new native plantings. So we've got native plantings all in this area here and over here, and we plan to expand that a bit too. So we wanted to have paths to make it easy to get to the feeders, and the little bridge was something we needed to get over the water safely instead of coming around this way, which is where all the native plantings are. So we made those improvements this fall, and we're really happy with it. I hope that makes things aesthetic for the visitors as well. And the little bridge was made in-house. Max, shout out to Max. He's one of our operations staff. He is good with woodworking and got that made for us. So junco right here in front of us on the snow, and then tree sparrow just flew over to the right, sitting on the branch there now, low to the ground. And you'll have to tell me if there's anything going on at those other feeders over there. We expanded the feeders here to attract some birds to the window over there because our overflow is in the other room. There's people watching the birds there too. They can be watching me on the live stream as well. Any other questions, comments, stories, things you want to share?
I have a question about why the cardinals are just hanging out back there. I haven't seen them go for any food at all. What's the point of coming here if they're not going to grab food?
So they find shelter in that brush pile. So whether they're feeding or not, it's a great place to kind of hang out and hide and find shelter. Not sure why they haven't come in to feed. Maybe they got nervous by something, you know, startled. I'm sure they'll come in. They like to feed on the ground and on number 8. So that's the place that they tend to show up. Yeah, they haven't come in really to eat yet. I only saw the one female. Was there a male? Oh, he's back in there? Okay. So yeah, hopefully they come out in the open here soon.
There's the male. You can see him now just to the left of 8.
Just to the left of 8. Oh, in the snow back behind. Yep. There's a blue jay up in that tree to the left of 8 as well. Oh yes, I see him back there. Good. Any other questions, comments, stories? Come on, there's too many people in here to not have anybody want to share something. What's in the number 7 feeder? Number 7 is... Oh, the orange top. Yes, sorry. That's actually a coarse sunflower as well. That's the heaviest thing that we feed. We feed the most of that. And we give it to them in a variety of ways. So the number 7 feeder, it has a cage around it and smaller ports. It holds on to the seed longer. Oh, we got the blue jay up on the screen. It's getting the corn, isn't it? Oh, yeah. Fill the gullet. So that is just a different way to feed it, and it allows for things like chickadees maybe to come in when the finches are all over 3 and 4. That's an easier access there, and then they can cling all over that, but that's the same seed. So I can go through the feeders and tell you what I have in each. The number 8 over there is sunflower seed in the hull. Okay? Some birds like that. The cardinals and house finches in particular go to that feeder. And so I just fill that one with just regular black oil sunflower seed. There's the cardinal, proving me right? He likes number 8. There you go. Yes. Number 9 up here is finch mix. You can get that finch mix at DeBrine as well. They mix it up. It's millet with the fine sunflower seed and thistle or Niger mixed together, and that's good for finches. They're not going to it too much today. They do tend more toward this over here, but I like to give a variety. Number 10 over here, to the left of number 10 is suet in the log there, and to the right of number 10, that little green feeder, that's mealworms. Mealworms. And that gets emptied pretty quickly. All the birds love to come in and grab the mealworms. Oh yeah, chickadees on it right now. And they're crispy. They've been baked. You can try one if you want. Put it as a side dish with Thanksgiving dinner. I'm sure it wouldn't hurt you. So then number 4 and 3 are the coarse sunflower seeds. Number 5 here is suet. And that is the last big chunk that I have right now. I need to pick up some more of the raw suet. On the right, that big white piece, that's raw suet. I put that out in the wintertime when it's cold enough. The birds love, the woodpeckers in particular, love the raw suet. The suet to the left is a suet cake that's kind of a mixture with, like, I think cornmeal and things like that. Looking at number 1, oh, that branch fell down in there. I tried to put the branch up so that the camera would focus on it, and it looks like it fell into there. That's a mixture that includes peanuts. So peanuts and and some ground mix with coarse sunflower seed. And then the other 2 feeders at the far window there are sunflower and then a suet cake in the middle. So, and then on the ground, I described that already. It's millet and cracked corn and sunflower seed mainly. There's a tufted titmouse on the screen. Nice to catch them sitting still and eating the seed. You can see they hold it between their feet, crack it open, and eat it up.
He's been grab and go between number 1 and 8.
Number 1 and 8, yeah. And you said it right. They grab and go. The titmice, the chickadees, the nuthatches typically come in, grab something, and go. They don't stick around. The finches, they like to sit there and gorge themselves. So,
I have a dumb question.
no dumb questions. There's no dumb question.
Just kind of like bird flu. Is it, does it affect these birds, or does it affect more like the turkeys and the chickens and stuff like that? You know?
From what I understand, it affects more of the domestic fowl than it does the wild birds. It doesn't mean, and I'm not an expert on it, but I think it doesn't mean that they can't get it, but I think that they're less affected by it if I'm not. I could be corrected, so don't take my word for the, Dr. Truth here, but
Really curious about
yeah. Yep. And that may be part of it, is that they're more spread open and not all together spreading it amongst each other. But I do know that some diseases, like the house finches, get this conjunctivitis, and when they spend time with each other, they can spread it. Some birds are more gregarious, and they spread disease among themselves a little faster. So.
Did you read the article in the New Yorker in October? There was an article about birds and their cognition and how they talk to each other.
No, I did not. I would love to see that, though.
October 21st.
October 21st in the New Yorker.
Yeah.
Okay. Birds and cognition. I'm sure there's a whole lot. Yeah, that'll blow your mind, right?
Study about how they communicate with each other.
Yeah.
And how they can change their vocalization.
Yep. Oh, we had the yellow finch. They changed their vocalizations for different meanings and things like that.
To let the other birds around them know that there's a hawk coming down, or, they just talk to each other.
Nice. Neat. No, I would like to read that. So the New Yorker, October, oh, you wrote it down. Thank you. The New Yorker, October 21.
Yeah, I just read it. My husband.
On cognition, bird cognition. Thank you. I got a lot of things on my mind today, so it's nice when I get little notes like that.
I think I saw one of these oranger house finches.
Yes, and Rick had it on the screen there for a moment, the orange house finch. It's on where?
Behind the branch that's coming across, like just above the headlands. You can see he's like orange on his face.
Oh yeah, right up here. I have to kind of duck. He's to the right of number 4. There, he's on number 4 now. He's sticking his tail. What is he eating that's more red? Probably some sort of berry. I'm not sure exactly. To make them red. Yeah.
So he's not eating as many.
Apparently, yeah. Regionally, when you look at these birds, like Southern California, I think has more orangish yellow birds than we do. We get more red, and it's diet. Yeah. So he went on the back side, I think.
Well, we're just seeing his backside too. There he is.
Oh, there he is. He's over on number 8 now. Check him out on number 8. The orange bird. The orange yellow bird is the one on number 8 right now. Yep, that's a male house finch. You know what that reminds me of? Only because I was just there in June. What European bird does that remind me of? Anybody know their European birds? Robin? No, not the robin. It's a bird that's more yellowish, but it is a finch. Nope. Nope. It's the serin. You can look it up. Serin. S-E-R-I-N. It's a little finch that looks almost like a house finch with yellow. So I'm not reporting that as a serin. That was a house finch, but kind of fun to be reminded of that. I saw bunches of them when I was in Europe this last summer, so that was a new bird for me. Well, central. So I was in Slovakia mostly, and then Hungary, Austria, Czech Republic. So, yep. How often do we clean the feeders? Probably not quite as often as enough because it takes a lot. But it really depends on how caked stuff gets on the feeders. I think there are recommendations all over the place from once a season to once a month to once a week. And I'm like, what's practical? And so we don't do it that often. I do it when I see that the feeder is dirty. But there's a lot of debate on how often you should do it. There's some better recommendations. They're probably the Project Feeder Watch has probably some good information on that if you go onto their website. But yeah, if they're real messy and they sit around and they get all the stuff caked up and you got moldy stuff, like that's not good. Our feeders go through feed so fast. They don't have time to get real dirty. But you also want to make sure that bird feces isn't getting mixed into stuff too. So.
Do you just use soap and water, or do you use a little bit of dilute bleach?
Yeah, dilute bleach is actually a good way to get rid of the diseases and stuff that are in the feces. So yeah, we'll use a little bit of bleach to brush on. Yep. I believe vinegar can work as well, a vinegar mix, and I wouldn't know what concentration.
My concentration is a sink of water and a little bit.
There you go.
Precise measurement.
It's very precise measurements. Yeah. Yeah, you could look that up online as to how vinegar does it versus bleach. And I think it's more important when you see birds that are carrying any sort of a disease, things like that. You might want to just take them down for a little while or just clean them a lot. So far, so good here. That pine siskin has not come back. I'm glad I drew attention to it. You never know when they're going to come back or not. So the song sparrow is down underneath number 3 along with the tree sparrow. So the tree sparrow is in front. The song sparrow is in back. Oh, now they're both gone. They didn't listen long. So who else has a question or comment in the back?
I have yellow cone flowers planted in the front that I can look out my kitchen window at. This fall, when the gardeners came around, they wanted to cut this all down and clean it up. I said, no, leave those there. And since then, I've been watching the goldfinch eating the seeds out of the dried head. So if you
Yeah.
have,
The purple coneflower?
no, not yellow.
The yellow coneflower. Okay.
Just in case you didn't know that they're interested.
Yeah.
One of the reasons they might be interested too is because my black seed flower feeder is empty right now. I have to buy some seeds, but they're
So the
little coneflower.
yep, the comment is that there well, I'll just say it's my mom. She left her feeder empty. She left her feeder empty. Disappointed. So, but I'm proud of her for doing this, and this is what I encourage everybody in here to do, is plant native plants because they feed the birds. And when there's not food around, they can go to those native plants. So purple coneflower, yellow coneflower, there's all kinds of different ones. I use coreopsis a lot in my yard, which the finches love. Plant native plants in your gardens, and the birds will thank you for it. Not only for the food, but also for the cover, and also for the insects, because when it's June, and those native plants attract native insects that feed your birds. Whether they eat seeds or not, they are gonna eat protein-rich insects. They're gonna feed them to their young. So these plants are really, really beneficial to your yards. If you wanna see birds, plant some native plants. We've got a native plant sale every, I think it's the first Saturday of May generally here. You can find native plant growers around as well. So definitely plant native. And there are nativars out there, which are cultivated natives that don't have the same value. So I wouldn't get your native lookalikes from the local, just run-of-the-mill greenhouses. I would go to one that is strictly native plants. They're a little harder to find, but it's worth it. I've gotten all my stuff from several places, including the sale here, and then there's a place down in Kalamazoo's, Hidden Savannah, has sales in the spring and then late summer, I think. So definitely support your local native plant grower. There was a question here, yeah.
I have a question. We have a pair of great horned owls up behind us. And they've been so much fun. They sit in the tree and then they talk to one another.
Mm-hmm.
And they do that for like a half hour straight. And then I guess they take off and hunt. But it's pretty cool. It's just before dusk. And then sometimes early morning we'll hear them too.
Nice.
So that's fun.
Nice. So this person's got great horned owls hooting by their house, and in the evening. This is the time of the year when the great horned owls get active. This is when they're courting. So if you want to hear great horned owls, this is perfect time. They usually start nesting sometime in January.
It's so funny to watch too, because when they hoot, they kind of lean forward, their tails all fluff up.
Yep. They posture. Yep. And you can tell the great horned owl male from female through its call. The female has a higher pitch. The male has a lower pitch. So, and like that. And they'll call back and forth to each other.
Is it early evening when you can still see them, or is it after?
Well, to see them, yeah, you'd have to right at dusk. Yeah, they usually don't come out until right at the cusp of darkness, yeah. So I had one a couple weeks ago in my neighborhood, and I could hear him through the wall. That sound resonates really far. And so I stepped outside, and sure enough, he was sitting in the tree. I couldn't see him. It was too dark. He was in the tree in my yard, hooting away. Yep, neat.
If you have a decent camera and put it with the computer, we took a picture of one of them, and with playing around with it, it's surprising, even though you looking at it, it doesn't look very, but the camera, you can pick it up, and we got a really nice sharp picture.
Oh, nice.
Surprisingly,
Nice for the level of darkness, huh? Nice. I forgot to do something. Make sure that I'm following some comments online. My goodness, I'm just off my game. Those of you online, I apologize. I have not been watching for comments on the video, so I'm going to move over there and see. I think I've got it muted so that this won't make any noise. Okay, now I can see. Aha. We've got some comments from Whippoorwill, and I happen to know who Whippoorwill is. It's Carl and Judy Manning. Some of you know who they are. Greetings from Western Park Township. Currently 20 turkeys in the yard. You always have to outdo us somehow, Carl and Judy. They are, when I say Ottawa County birder, you should think of Carl and Judy. They bird this county more than anybody else. They've been birding it for longer than pretty much anybody else in the county. They wrote the book on it, literally. So, yeah, you got 20 turkeys. Congrats. Send them our way. Jessica, that's my boss, she says, Rick, excellent photography as always. That doesn't have anything to say about me, of course.
Maybe there's a message.
She also says, when you have the hemlock branches on your screen, you can see, it looks like HWA, but it is not. It's actually bird poo. Jess, that's bird poo, not HWA. Yeah. Yep, they have their favorite purchase. So if you see little white speckles on the trees there, it's bird poo. And Jessica says, yes, native plants. All right, she was listening. She's been following along here. And let's see, a couple more comments. Kelly, birds love the native sunflowers, Helianthus species, for their seeds and stiff stems to perch on in winter too. Yep, exactly. So the stiff stems, they can perch on it. They can get the seeds out. Yep. And she's loving the native plant encouragement. We'll keep that up, Kelly. And Jess says, now she says, LOL, you're great too, Curtis. Thanks. I feel so encouraged. We have a lot of fun in this office, if you didn't catch on to that. So we've got a hairy woodpecker on number 10. Nice close look up on the TV screen there, Rick. And the red-bellied is over on number 4. Blue jays on the ground here. Everything else has gone away. It's big bird time. Where's the pileated?
So I have a question.
Yeah.
What type of, I want to put a variety of birdhouses out in my little strip of woods that I have. What kinds would be and how spread apart should they be, and what varieties?
Varieties of
Houses,
bird houses.
for nesting wise, yeah.
Bluebird houses are good if you, but they don't always get used by bluebirds, and that's why I say bluebirds. Do you have bluebirds in the area?
No.
No.
I mean,
Okay.
I
You have open meadows and things like that? No. Then I would focus on probably a wren house, so like house wren.
Yep, I got the wren.
Yep.
She used the bluebird. We had 3 batches.
Ah, nice. Yeah, house wren, and then if you put up a bluebird box, nice shot of the song sparrow there. If you put up a bluebird box in the woods, you often will get a chickadee nesting in it. So watch for that.
Okay.
I,
Cardinal boxes?
Well, they don't use boxes. See, the boxes are only for, maybe a shelf would work, but they typically like really thick thickets.
Okay.
So they'll go into a bush somewhere and make a nest. They typically don't do it in the open.
Okay.
So I would go on to the best place that I know of to get information on specific birds. If you want to provide specific birds a box or platform, go on to the Cornell website for, what is it called again? Somebody remind me, what is this called? Yeah, ornithology. There's Project Feeder Watch, and then there's, maybe it's just Project Nest Watch
Okay.
on the Cornell website.
Okay.
It's one of their citizen science projects. And they've got all kinds of, like you'll see a list of all kinds of different bird houses that you can put out. One that is also kind of fun to put out is a wood duck box, whether you have wood ducks or not. Sometimes the screech owls will roost in them and nest in them. So, right, Rick? Right, Rick? Screech owls will nest in them, yeah. He's focusing on the live birds out here. We're talking about other things. Let's see, anything else out here right now? The finches are coming back. There's a chickadee on number 4. The goldfinches are coming back to these feeders in force. The juncos are hopping through the brush. So when we talk about native plants and providing shelter and food, there's a few different elements to make your yards more bird friendly. And it's food. We've got food, right, in the feeders, but we've also got food. We're going to be providing more food with the native plants. That also provides shelter. It also provides insects. That's something that the bird feeders can't do. And then we've got shelter. So we've got the evergreens here, which are hemlocks. And behind those hemlocks, you can see it kind of between the hemlocks, there's a big brush pile back there. We've been piling that up for years and adding to it as necessary as it breaks down below. And that has been a wonderful place for the birds to hang out and keep them close to the feeders. It's also a matter of safety, so they can come to the feeders and know that they have a quick place to get away to and be safe. You know, it's the concept of you wouldn't put a feeder in the middle of a football field, right? Birds would never come to it. They'd be so scared to fly out to it. So the opposite of that is putting feeders by safe places like this. And you can do that. You can cheat by even, if you live on a deck, you can take a pot, put some rocks in it, and take a branch and stick it in there. You've got perches now for the birds to come in and land on. So, I mean, there's ways you can get around it. But I definitely encourage planting plants and actually making brush piles. When you're cleaning up the sticks in your yard in the spring or in the fall, you know, make a little brush pile. And you can see how they edge out from that brush pile, and as soon as they have anything that they're afraid of, then right back into the brush pile. So think like a bird. Those of you who have seen my presentation, you know I go into depth on that, but think like a bird. And then you can attract them in. What do they want? Food, water, and shelter. Water, we've got water here in the bird bath. So, any other questions?
Yeah, your feeder 9, I noticed no birds have come to that. And I have one just like that. No birds have come to mine either, but I have a lot of bird traffic on all my other feeders. Like, why?
Sometimes it...
Are the holes too small for even finches?
So, no. So the feeder number 9 has a mesh that is thin enough for finches. Finches have really thin bills that they can get the seeds out, so no other birds really can feed on that. Why they're not utilizing it right now? Well, I just filled it with fresh seed today, and I think the seed that was in it wasn't as good, and so they'd been ignoring it. So that might be...
I washed mine and put fresh seed in, but nothing.
That might be part of it. And if you're offering something better, then they're like, well, I think I'm going to go... I was actually surprised when we started feeding this coarse sunflower seed. The goldfinches have flocked to that more than the finch feeder itself. But they will go on to it, especially when there's a lot of them around. But it does not, you're right, it does not get as much use. So if you feed one bird seed, I suggest black oil sunflower seed, and if you can, I would suggest the coarse sunflower hearts. Just doing the hearts. It's less mess in your yard, and the birds love it more. It's easier to eat. Look at the blue jay flock coming in. There's 4 of them over there, at least. Oh, there's a 5th one up there. They're fun to watch.
We got a whole team.
Yeah. What is the name for a flock of blue jays? Is there a name? Somebody want to look that up? Well, a flock of blue jays. It's not just flock, is it? It's got to be something cool. It's got to be, you know, like a murder of crows, you know? What's Blue Jays? I think a party or a band. Ooh, band is good too. Yeah, it's a band. Like they're yeah, band of Blue Jay brothers. Yep. Excellent. There's the Blue Jay. Nice shot there. In a moment, it's going to be time for me to wrap up this feeder watching session. It's gone pretty quickly. We've had lots of good birds out here. I have to look at my list over there and see how many of the ones on the list we've gotten. Let's see. I'm going to walk over here. Just all of them, did we? So yeah, black-capped chickadee, tufted titmouse, white-breasted nuthatch, northern cardinal, blue jay, mourning dove, house finch, American goldfinch, song sparrow. We got all three woodpeckers. That's blocked by the TV there, but downy, hairy, and red-bellied. Then we got dark-eyed junco, pine siskin, and American tree sparrow. Wow! Give yourselves a round of applause. You've had the flush of all the birds. Oh, see, we count the ducks. Sometimes we'll get an eagle flying over or something, or something, yeah. Well, that's good. That's good. We typically get around 12 to 15 species. I didn't count the numbers of what that is. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. It's 15. 15. So when you get 15, you know you're doing pretty good. That pine siskin helped us out. That's probably the bird of the day, getting to see the pine siskin. Any last questions, comments, stories before we disband this live stream and start the next? Yes?
I have what I think is a red-shouldered hawk visit every day and eat my birds. And it's been just the last couple of years that it's been there so consistently, and I'm wondering if it has anything to do with new homes being built or getting pushed out of areas where they're natural.
So more red-shouldered hawk activity, eating birds at the feeder. I'm wondering if it has to do with more development in the area and if it's adjusting its behavior because of that. That's a good question. Birds like Cooper's hawks have definitely adapted to neighborhoods now. You find them in local neighborhoods. I don't know that we'll start seeing that with red-shouldered hawks, but if they're stressed, then they're going to go to other food sources. So it's possible that if they have hunting grounds that have been altered, that they're looking for other food sources nearby, and maybe it's not their top choice to hunt at bird feeders, but they're doing it because they have to. That's possible. Couldn't say for sure, but that's a feasible hypothesis, I would say. Yeah. Prefer it takes a squirrel, yeah. Yeah. They're big enough to take squirrels, so rather than the birds. The sharp-shinned hawks and the Cooper's hawks are usually the ones that take the birds. The red shoulders usually take chipmunks or squirrels or things like that. But you've been seeing it taking birds, huh? Wow. Yep. All right, well, the way this works is we're going to wrap up this live stream here. And in a moment, I'm going to have Rick cut my audio, but he can maybe run the images of the feeder for a little bit until he's got to unplug things and pack his stuff up. But those of you online, when that live stream goes dead, in the email that I sent out, or if you are on the channel, you have to be on the channel to be watching this, click on the channel. You'll see another live stream link that should go live in the next few minutes, about 10:30, and that'll be me giving a presentation on the American avocet. I'll introduce Coffee with the Birds again. I'll talk about the winning photos, and at the end of that, we'll give out a door prize. So please do join us there if you're online, and if you are in person, please do join us. Get heat up your coffee a little bit, get another cup of coffee, another donut, and make your way into the great room. Have a seat, and we'll get started there in just a few minutes. So thank you so much for making this first session, feeder watching session, a fun time of community and bird watching and donuts and coffee.